Hello, Los Angeles. Max here on Sociologist Weekly with Sammy Jackson and Lily Hess. This week's topic is the sociological perspective. It is so lovely to have you both here with us today.
Thank you, Max. It's lovely to be here.
So, Sammy, about that sociological perspective, would you like to tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yes, of course. Sociological perspective is understanding human behavior by placing it within its broader social context. This means putting it into a group level, looking at how society acts as a whole and how it affects individuals, not looking at genes, biology, or instincts.
That is very interesting, Sammy. Who knew I would be learning things today right along with our viewers? That is very exciting for all of us.
Well, a lot of people know about psychology, but it seems like many people look over sociology.
I agree completely. Why do you think that is, Lily?
In my opinion, it seems like it has to do with people discrediting sociology as an actual science. But we have requirements in place to make sociology a credible science.
Requirements such as what?
For one, all sociologists are required to follow the scientific method for their work to be deemed credible. We also have 5 words to describe what to do to achieve the sociological perspective. You may know a couple of these, Max.
Well, Lily, why don't you tell us? What are these 5 words? It has something to do with bias and values, am I correct?
Partly, it also has to do with research, objectivity, and Verstehen, also with bias and values, like you said.
Intriguing. What is this Verstehen? I haven't ever heard this word before, I don't think.
Well, you have probably heard it another way. Simply, Verstehen is putting yourself in another person's shoes to try to understand where they are coming from and why they act how they do in their society.
Very interesting. Who knew that the common phrase we all use, the time has a more complicated word for it? We will be right back after these messages from our sponsors. And now for a local news break. We'll go to CNJ Fox 5 with our anchor, Rachel Lewis, putting sociology into action.
Thank you, Max. I'm Rachel Lewis, and I'm here objectively observing authentic Chinese dances. Let's take a look.
Sociologist Weekly.
All these words that Lily has mentioned, like research, objectivity, bias, values, and Verstehen, they all go together, and you must do everything to achieve the ultimate goal of the sociological perspective.
Yes, I think I am just beginning to understand. Now, from my notes I have here, it seems like research is very simple. Just asking questions you don't know the answers to, and observing people and interacting with them to try to find the answer to the question asked. Is this correct?
Very much so. We call the research phase taking scientific observations of the social world, and we apply the scientific method to our research.
Lily, what is the next thing needed to have a sociological perspective?
That would be objectivity.
Yes. Keeping your feelings separate from what you are researching. When researching tough topics such as human sacrifice, cannibalism, and child marriage, how do you manage to stay objective?
Well, in order to stay objective, you have to shed your bias. Shedding your bias means to not apply your opinion to the culture you are studying. Naturally, everyone has a bias. It is just leaning to one side or the other.
Now, Lily, I understand that when studying other cultures, you shouldn't apply your opinion to that culture. But if they start doing something that you don't agree with, should you go along with what they are doing, or what you would do in that situation?
That's where your values come in. Your values lead to a bias. And so to not have a bias towards something, you have to be value-free. This means to just not apply your personal values to another person's situation, culture, or beliefs. But what you are talking about, that is slightly different.
In what way?
Well, to be a good sociologist, you need to be value-free. But that does not mean to abandon your values completely to conform to another group's values. For example, if they value human sacrifice as a way to please God, their God, we should probably not take up human sacrifice if we are against it. But truly, value-free means keeping your own personal values but not applying them to other people's culture.
Well, that was quite a mouthful. I think I am beginning to understand how to be a better sociologist. Today, we will be observing folkways in the common halls of Oconomowoc High School. Now, let's go again to our anchor, Rachel Lewis. Rachel?
Hello, Max. Today I'm here in the local halls of Oconomowoc High School with my colleague, Leah Fensky, and we are here to break some folkways. Leah, can you tell us, what is a folkway?
Well, you see, Rachel, a folkway is an unspoken rule in society.
Thank you, Leah.
Of course.
Well, let's do this.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Sociologist Weekly, here with Sammy Jackson and Lily Hess. Let's get back to talking about the sociological perspective.
Actually, let's touch back on Verstehen. To achieve Verstehen, we need to be value-free. We cannot walk in someone else's shoes with no judgment unless we don't apply our own values to their situation.
Now that we have gone over this, I'm starting to see how these all connect with each other, like an intricate web. Stop me at any point if I'm wrong, but it seems like to achieve Verstehen, you need to be value-free and shed your bias. You also need to be objective through your research. Your values lead to your personal bias, and your research should always be objective. Wow, is that a lot to take in all at once?
That's exactly right, Max. And yes, that is a lot to take in all at once. A good example of the sociological perspective would be from the TV show called Taboo.
How so? Any input, Lily?
Well, Taboo is a TV show that takes you on a visual field trip to different cultures around the world. So you can almost obtain a sociological perspective right from your living room.
That seems like a great way to observe other cultures without having to spend money to travel, because we all know how expensive traveling can be. Now, tell me, why is the show called Taboo? What does taboo mean?
Taboo is a norm, so strong that often brings revolution if violated. Say, a culture is another country's delicacy is dog soup. Now, in our country and society, that would be considered wrong and inhuman, because eating dog is very taboo to us, yet normal to other cultures.
Okay, Lily, I think I'm beginning to understand a lot about the sociological perspective and sociology itself. Sammy, is there anything else you would like to add or inform our audience about?
No, Max, I think that's it.
Okay, well, I think that concludes tonight's topic. A big thank you to Sammy Jackson and Lily Hess for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having us.
Glad we could be here.
All right, Los Angeles, we will see you next week on Sociologist Weekly. Have a great night, everybody.
Can you tell us, what is a folkway?
Well, you see, Rachel, a folkway is an unspoken... Oh, I forgot.
Today,
I'm gonna tinkle. I'm not kidding, guys. This is so funny. I'm gonna pee my pants.
we'll go to CNJ Fox 5 with our anchor Rachel Lewis putting sociology into action.
You said ankle. I will pick up your papers for you.
Welcome
back.
Never become a dog.
Welcome.
Willkommen.
Guys, okay, you're looking crazy.
What you looking at? What you looking at?
He's literally looking at me like crazy.
You actually.
Danny, do that.
Welcome back to the Sociology. I'm sorry, I said dog and it messed me up. Let's just read. Yeah, okay. And we're back to the Sociology